everyone, welcome to Hanging On by a Thread podcast. My name is Sølje and I'm recording this on a Friday. It was supposed to be spring, but no, it decided to snow. So we have about this much of snow going on outside now, which is not what I was wanting. Anyways, that was a bit of a tangent already. So yeah, welcome to the podcast. This is my space to talk about everything crafty that I endeavor to do in a week. And mostly it's knitting. Lately it's been a lot of crochet projects. And in my brain there is a lot of other fiber art going on as well. So there might be some of that in the future. I'm Sølje. And on social media, Instagram and Ravelry, my handle is Silmoa. So if you want to follow me there, you can find me. Yeah, well, welcome. Thank you for watching. It's really nice to know that somebody out there is appreciating this, and I've actually had some views on the previous episodes, which I kind of didn't expect. But cool. Let's see where this goes. I'm trying to do this as a weekly thing. So let's see how that works out for like amount of content, because there's a limit at how much you can do during a week when you have life as well. I am home on maternity leave. But that does not mean that I get to sit on the sofa all day and knit to my heart content. And because, 2 kids and a partner, so we need to do stuff, the everyday stuff, the laundry and all the boring things. So that makes the whole fiber part of my day even more important. And I really do use it to stay sane and to fill my life with joy as much as I can. So yeah, I think that's a good introduction. Okay, yeah. Some coffee. I can always cut out awkward pauses. I don't know if you guys, do you like awkward pauses, or do you prefer everything to be all dynamic and snip, snip, snap, snap? Who knows? I'm having coffee because basically this is the only time I've had alone in the house for quite a few days. Okay, so before I get into anything knitting, I am apparently sharing my life today. So yeah, this Monday my oldest son had a small surgery. It was a planned surgery, so that he was home a few days this week. He did not go to kindergarten. That of course ate up some of my crafting time, or time I would otherwise spend doing things I enjoy, or mainly just with the baby. So there's that. I'm not making excuses. I actually did work on quite a few things, but of course not the things that I had planned to work on, as that's what happens usually with me. Anyways, let's get into it. So today I am wearing my Birkin sweater. I mean, as far as I can, I will try to wear something new every time, because I do have quite a few sweaters and knitted things that I could parade around in front of the camera. But at some point I'm going to have to repeat things, and then the what I'm wearing segment will of course fall away, sadly. Anyways, for now I still have a few jumpers to go. This is a pullover by Caitlin Hunter, which is also known as Boylan Knitworks. Boylan Knitworks? Yes, that sounded awfully weird to me right now. I don't know why, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. So this is a sweater that I want to say 3 years ago everybody was making. It was one of the designs in one of the first issues of Lane magazine. Lane, I'm going to say Lane. which is the magazine I do not have. What? I lie. I have 2 copies of it. But I don't have the one with the Birkin in it. This is this pattern I downloaded on Ravelry because I did knit it quite some time after it was all over my Instagram feed. So yeah, when did I knit this? I feel like it was quite recently. I think I knit this spring of 2020. I'm gonna have to check because, I mean, it is a pattern that has been out for quite some time. Yes, I started it in March of 2020 and I finished in May 2020. Yep, because I had, and I knitted this out of some yarn I had in my stash. I had this merino Shetland wool blend, which is the base color. Sarah by Permin, I think. So is that a Danish yarn brand? And it's a 2-ply woolen spun. It's super lofty, it's heathered, it's thin and light, but it poofed out nicely. It's really comfortable to wear. I really enjoy this yarn. And the yoke is quite a few different ones actually. You can see this here. Not sure if I positioned my light nicely for this, but we've got the green here is that one of a kind hand dyed that I got from Værbitt yarn. The purple is I think it's a pink pelt wool, Hillesvåg pelt wool, Vilje, and the white and the blue, they are both Semilla, I think. Semilla yarn, let me see, BC Garn Semilla melange. So I think they're all technically fingering weight yarns, but they are slightly different thicknesses. I think the ones that are most similar are the Sarah by Permin, the hand dyed, which I think is Vilje, which is the same weight as the Sølje fingering from Hillesvåg. But yeah, because it's color work and it's a yoke, it does forgive a little bit, but I think you can see that the flowers, they kind of pop out a little bit more, and it's not only due to the color prominence that I'm making sure that the pattern motif pops more than the background, but also because it is ever so slightly thicker. Yeah. Again, with Caitlin Hunter's patterns, I find the gauge extremely loose, but for this it was fine. It's an A-line design, so I've ended up with kind of I've got lots and lots of negative E's here, because what was important for this was the yoke to fit across the bust, and I do think that the yoke fits nicely. So yeah, it goes across my shoulders, and I like that this garland here goes from shoulder to shoulder. I've got, oh, that's not me. If you're hearing some fart sounds, that's not me farting. That is the chair. Yeah, lamest excuse ever, but it's true. I've got this like pleather padded chairs that I'm sitting on. I should probably change that to next time. This is ridiculous. Anyways, ignore that. Yeah, I'm gonna show you here the back. There's a bit raised in the neck, but I don't feel like that actually does all that much, because you see it's kind of going down anyways in the neck. I make no sense. What am I saying? Yes, I feel like this neckline should have been, I feel like it should be sitting here, just below the collarbone. And even with the raised neckline, this yoke wants to travel up. And I think that's a problem of having boobs, to be honest. If these were not here, this would be laying a lot better across, and it wouldn't try to push the yoke, because the yoke wants to be pushed up, so like it's on the roof of the boobs there. Well, it should. It's so deep, it should go slightly below. I don't know if that makes sense. But it's wide enough for me to have movement. Sometimes that's a thing with these deep yokes that goes past the shoulders. I feel like they didn't add enough movement to it, but since it has so much negative ease, it seems to work. Again, I don't know what... I followed the pattern on this exactly. I did not deviate, which I'm realizing the same as with the ghost horses sweater that I was wearing before. The sleeves, like, what's going on with the sleeves? They're an okay length, but why leave them straight? That's makes no sense to me. So again, this is another, I think both, maybe not the ghost horses sweater. I don't think I will undo or redo the sleeves, but here, since it's just a solid single color, I could undo to about, yeah, about the, oh, it's so wide though, isn't it? I could do balloons now, that would be weird with all the yoke. I feel like I should unravel the sleeve and do some serious decreases, and I basically I want to snug it in about this much. I want that's quite a lot of, let's see, 2, 3, that's like 16 stitches I want to get rid of. That should be doable. Yeah, I could do a decrease. I should do 8. What do you guys think? Should I fix these sleeves? Should I just live with them? I think I would actually wear it more if I wasn't worried about how the sleeves look, because I end up like folding them up, which is stupid since they are a good length, a comfortable length. But because of the weird width of them, I roll them up so it's not so noticeable. Yeah, that's basically what I do. And anyways, it is, as I said, a lot of positive ease on this one, and I did get some use of it by the end of my pregnancy, no problem. I mean, it's a tent on me. And I did not even knit the biggest size. I think I usually go for like the 3rd size in... Oh, I know you won't know that I was interrupted, but yeah, my partner came back from having been somewhere and I just paused it. And I'm just saying this because I completely forgot what I was talking about. I got all frazzled. It's been a weird week. I was probably talking about this. Sizing, yes. I was about to say what size I had knit. Because I find it so... Yeah, so... According to my notes, I made... Didn't I say what size I made? Well, I would assume I made a size 3. and I got gauge. So yeah, I tend to fall in between the two sizes of the standard medium and large size because I'm quite tall, so I need to add length mostly. I've got boobs because, you know, I'm female, and yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of narrow across the back, so that puts me more in the medium size sometimes, but then I have to account for the boobage. So yeah, that's an actual word, boobage. And you have to always calculate for your boobage when you're knitting yoke sweaters. But anyways, it's a comfy sweater. I am so pleased with the color choices here. In the end, that was what made me cast on. Yeah, March 2020, that was a month, wasn't it? Yay! Yeah, I think it was especially anxious time for me and for my family, and not just because of the pandemic. We had some other horrible news at that point in time. And I selected these colors, and I had it like basically sitting in a pile next to me on the sofa for the longest time. I was just like looking at the colors and like, you are gonna become something. And as soon as I feel like I am emotionally able to have focus enough to count to cast on, I will make you into something beautiful. And I felt like the Birkin sweater was just the thing. It was floral, it was cheerful in a way, and I just thought that the green is just popping out beautifully on this dark burgundy melange color. So yeah, that's that. So last time I was telling you that I had messed up my neck from crocheting too much or too intensely on my granny square cardigan. Pullover. It's a pullover. So that did not get any more love, but I did cast on that Snood. So I will show you the progress I made on that. I think I'm about halfway in it. It needs to be quite long. This is the Foula Snood by Donna Smith. So it was published first in the Shetland Wool Week Annual in 2018. So it can be bought as a single pattern on Ravelry only. I checked now. I could not find it on the Woolbrokers website. But yeah, so I'm doing this whole thing where I was trying to change out the background of this Snood to just make it a bit more interesting for me and to use up some more yarn. So I have 4 colors going into this Snood. One for the main pattern motif, which is Sheep's Black by Rauma. And then I have a speckled semi-solid hand-dyed in between a very light yellow by Rauma and the mustard color by Rauma. So I am getting I've done about, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I'm just about getting to 4 repeats, and I should get a total of 8 before I graft it together. So I mean, you can see now it's like if I just wanted to have a tight neck and barely get it on my head, I could stop now and graft it, but no, I want to have the full-length Snood. Yeah, actually I I haven't looked at it that closely under decent lighting, but of course I got my recording lights up. These show it pretty nice. So I hope this is coming through, the color changes. And yeah. This is the Foula Snood by Donna Smith. I was really enjoying knitting this. It was just so... I mean, apart from having to remember to change the colors out in the background, which is not something that is in the pattern. The pattern is 2 colors only, so you could just zoom through. Something I did to myself to complicate things. So in the end, I have done... Yeah, so I'm going... That first round, I did 2 rounds of mustard. The lamp is not important. So I did 2 rounds of the mustard, and then I decided it would be better to do 4. So from here on out, I've done 4, 8, 4, 8, 4. If that makes sense. To get this kind of shifting thing going on. And I think that's going to be pretty nice. It's totally clashing with my Birkin. I don't think this is a good combo. But yeah, it's nice. Yellow, a lot of people like knitting in yellow in spring, Easter and all that. So this is like my Easter spring knitting. Yeah, it's a 42 row repeat. So it isn't... But what I felt like once you've done 1 repeat and of course didn't make any fuck ups in it, then instead of having to look at my phone where the patterns are or print out or whatever, I just look back at my knitting and just like, okay, I'm here now, what comes next? And it becomes just complicated enough to keep my mind occupied, and easy enough to have that soothing effect that knitting has. You can really just be in the knitting, and there's no increases or decreases to keep tabs of. Yeah, so that's really good. Okay, gotta change the battery. So yeah, when it rains it pours, or rather when it snows, it's a freaking blizzard. But yeah, okay. Did I move my camera? No, I didn't. Okay, yeah, so first the battery runs out, then boy, not so much asleep anymore, so I had to go rock the wagon. That's why I'm a little out of breath, because, you know, stairs, it's too much for me. Okay, so I was talking about the Foula Snood. I did mention this the last episode as well, but yeah, this is not a finished object yet, but I am really enjoying how it's turning out, and knitting it is a blast. So I can really recommend this. And I'm sure looking at it now, once I finish and I graft and I wash and block, it is going to be so nice. So looking forward to that. I will try to have this. Oh my goodness. Okay, 1 minute. Edit this out, future editing Sølje. The goal is to have this done by Easter, I think. And Easter is fast approaching. Yep. Foula Snood, Donna Smith. It's in a selection of Rauma Finull yarns, and the hand-dyed is Fjord Fibers, Trollfjord Sock, in the colorway Hytteliv, which is very apt for this being an Easter-themed knit now, since I deemed it so. Yeah, because in Norway people go to their cabins at Easter, that's the thing. Hytteliv means cabin life. Yeah. So this Easter knit is coming along nicely. That is that. And I didn't really knit on anything else this week. I did make a stab at picking up the sky pullover, the Marie Wallin design. But it just didn't work. I think I managed to make 6 rounds and 1 increase on the second sleeve. Before I was just like, nah, not feeling it. It's too complicated. I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a difficult knit. It's just like color work for me is a hell of a lot easier than the textured knits. Especially this one, which is like this slip stitch, twisted stitch, slip twist. I think I don't know which one. What's the correct term here? But it's like, it looks kind of like cable pattern, but it's not cables, so twisted. It's not difficult to do. It's just my brain doesn't visualize it in the same way. That it's not as easy to read your knitting as it is in color work, for me anyways. So I just no, I couldn't. So I put that aside. And I did some swatching. So I did order 2 mohair options for this yarn, which, you see this gorgeous yarn. So this hand dyed from Værbitt, which is a special dye lot that I ordered up. It's this kind of, yeah, well, it's a red. It's a rusty deep red with speckles of black and marine or dark blue. And it could go with like a burgundy color, but I'll pick that one up too. So I think last time I did say something about the prices of mohair and silk mohair, because there are so many different brands that do really lovely colors, but oftentimes I find like their palettes in silk mohair is a bit restrictive. And then on other brands, they are, the cheaper brands have a restrictive color palette. And then the fancy brands have kind of a prohibitive price. So like 100 kroners or more per 25 gram ball, which is a fair price, I think, but nothing I really wanted to pay right now because I will need quite a lot of it. So this is the color we're talking about, and I found this, it's just, I've never used this yarn brand before, but it's 76% mohair and 24% silk. So, I mean, there's no plastic in it. It is a Mayflower Super Kid Silk. New to me brand. It was fairly cheap. I found it online at a website from Denmark that ships easily to Norway. And I bought these 2 balls to see which one would go nicer with my hand-dyed yarn that I wanted to use. So I've got one that is called, I think this one was just Bordeaux, and you can see this is just a wine red Bordeaux color. It's really nice, but it's very it's very purple. And the other one here is a more of a burnt sienna kind of thing. It's called Blood Red, which I thought was apt because it kind of has that iron oxide color to it. So I was having hopes that this one would work nicely, but just in case, that the Bordeaux. So these two would give my cardigan more of an orange oxidized iron kind of feel. Well, if I put this in, I think they're clashed too much. I mean, it could still work, but it's not what I wanted. Yeah, so I keep getting interrupted. I guess that's my life now. But okay, so I was talking about these colors. So yeah, I am really happy about this blood red mohair. I mean, the mohair quality, I guess, it's acceptable. It's not fantastic, I think, but I think it's on par with like Drops mohair, which I think is completely fine. But yeah, so this was a lot cheaper, and the more you buy, there was like a quantity discount as well. So I have ordered more of this one. So I have ordered enough to make the ribbed raglan cardigan by Anne Wenzel. And I have the pattern all ready to go. I even swatched, so here you can see how it looks. So it's a super simple, like kind of a broken rib stitch pattern. And I didn't wash this, but I don't expect it to grow or shrink any in the wash. So this is pretty much bang on gauge. It's either way, it is oversized cardigan, but I think this is nice. I mean, apparently these days I am knitting with things that are extremely high contrast to my very winter pale skin. And that's bound to blow out the cameras a little bit. But anyways, this is gonna be my next cast on for mindless knit probably. And I will get to use this lovely hand-dyed yarn that I got from Værbitt, together with my budget-friendly mohair, which is yeah, the new one. I did only yesterday receive also the Holst garn that I ordered for making some sort of black dark cardigan with little scrappy yarn bits. And if I've swatched for it next time, I will show you then. But now I feel like I'm recording on borrowed time, so I can't get into every tangent that pops into my head to talk about. But yeah, so I'm excited about this. It's gonna be quite nice, I think. And the next work in progress is a new cast on, or not a cast on. It's a hookup. I know you chain on, you make a foundation chain when it's crochet, but I kind of like the hookup thing. Let's go for that. Let's make that a thing. So I've hooked up with a new design, which is the Lockdown Cardigan by Theodora Goes Wild. I think that's also her Instagram handle and the designer name on Ravelry. Yeah, so Theodora Goes Wild. It's a lovely, like, super 70s. Crochet for me is such a 70s thing, but yeah, it's cool. So I'm gonna make this kind of scrappy, it's not scraps, it's just I've got lots of yarn that I don't know what to do with, Some has been gifted to me and some has been bought for other things. Or there are like 1 ball or 2 balls left over for something when I wasn't, you know, in the early days when I had no idea how much yarn I would actually need to complete the project. Because the recommendations in the pattern might differ a lot from what you yourself use. So I know a lot of people that have like row gauge issues. They have a tight row gauge. They will need more yarn than I do. I have found out that I have a taller row gauge, so my knitting is longer. And the recommended balls, if they like recommend 10 balls of yarn for a sweater in like a standard pattern by a yarn company, I usually end up needing 9 or 8 of that yarn because my row gauge is taller. Taller? Is it taller? Looser? Anyways, so I end up with like random full balls of yarn left over. That could be either hats or whatever. And I have quite a lot of alpaca yarns that I bought in a frenzied haze of like, I want to knit all the things back in 2014, 2015. These balls of yarn have been with me for a while now. And or they gotten on sale. There was a big pile of alpaca for €2 a pop. So get all the yarn. I just have way too much of it. I've discovered I do not particularly enjoy knitting in alpaca, but I quite like it for crochet. So I have cast on the lockdown cardigan, and I've selected a mishmash of alpaca wools and yarns in black, blue, greens to become this kind of this is gonna blow out the camera. Yeah, that happy, effortless elegance that I have from the late 1970s. I think this is the front. So I did kind of like, this is kind of a combination of a gauge swatch and a color sample. So I wanted to see if the colors I had picked out of my stash would work together. So let's see if we can represent them nicely. Yeah, I think that comes up pretty much correct. These are the colors swatch. My final thing is probably going to be a bit different from this because some of these are like the shot of blue here, the shot of that is one yarn held double, and there's some alpaca air, I don't know what, like soft alpaca. I think this yarn has been discontinued. It's super floofy. I guess it would be comparable to like what those alpaca air or brushed alpaca, but this is old. It's a couple of years old already. I had 2 of these alpaca, brushed alpaca in black by Summit Garn, and some are this is a worsted weight pattern, but most of my yarns are fingering or sports weight fingering and lace. So I've just kind of, well, I'll show you the baskets of stuff. I mean, I might add to this or take away, but I've got some, like, this is some worsted tweedy wool. This is some sort of wool alpaca mix, fluffy. So I wanted a combination of fluffs and different textures and different colors. So yeah, I think this is gonna be very nice. I've made some progress. Oh, I left it off middle of a row here. And I think this is the front, so it will be like like this. Here's my, this is on the actual, so the pattern called for a 5mm hook. Apparently I am not only a tight knitter, I am a tight crocheter, so I needed to get up to, I just went on one hook size, so I went up to a 5.5mm crochet hook to get a fabric that I thought was nice and looked kind of like on the photo. I did not have any of the yarn that was specified in the pattern to do a gauge sample with. I think she was some sort of Andes or no, Drops Charisma or something to do the sample, the gauge sample in double crochet. But yeah, so I'm getting to try out some different stitches, and I think the colors are working nicely. It's done in like one long piece, one here, and then you do the same on the other side. So once I've done one side, I'm just gonna replicate whatever I did with the yarns for the other side. And there's some bubbles coming up, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm just making the colors. For example, here, after putting in this, mossy green, I didn't really have a floofy color that I thought would go well with it. So I tried to make one with the pairing a strand of the black alpaca yarn with some green mohairs that I had, and so on. So I think I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, I think I am about halfway on one of the side panels. This I'm not going to go through all of the yarns that I have in it, because as I said, I just went downstairs to the box of lost yarns. I have tubs of plastic tubs of yarn that I have tried to organize more or less by fiber content and or weight. So I have like my fingering weight wool for color work separate from whatever else I have in fingering weight. So I separate my wool from everything else basically, and then everything else and the wool are sorted into weights. And I don't have so much of the DK and worsted weight yarns, that's why they're just kind of easier to grab. Yeah, I am being very conscious of keeping my head up. So I'm like having it up here. I'm keeping the work in front of my face while I'm crocheting instead of doing this and ending up with the same problem as I was having last week. So yeah, this I cast on, I did not cast it on, I hooked up. Was it yesterday? No, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, which was Wednesday. It is now Friday, by the way. I'm recording on a Friday. Okay, that was my latest thing. That was Lockdown Cardigan by Theodora Goes Wild. I thoroughly recommend it. I think it's going to be a great stash busting project. and you can play around with textures and color, and you don't have to worry about, oh, do I have enough of this or enough of that. You don't need very much. The pattern, it lists like 13 different yarns and says yarn A, yarn B, you know, so there is a suggestion. You can just pick out 13 random balls from your stash and assign them a letter and just go. Yeah, I recommend that. So yeah. Cheers. I swapped out my water with non-alcoholic beer. I am breastfeeding 100%, but they have decent beers now these days. Non-alcoholic. So I have a few things more to talk about, and then I'll call it a day, because this is getting a bit confusing. So I have finished object lurking in the background. Walt. Let's see. You know what? I'm actually trying to pose a little bit for like the camera so I can take out some decent stills for the thumbnail. Yeah, that's how it works, because I can't be bothered doing a photo shoot later to have a decent still for the thumbnail. So let's see. That should be good, right? Okay. His arm is not, I mean, I pinned it in so he would look cute. This is Walt, the green monster. I finished him last night with his little hat. The hat does not look like on the photo. It just said fuzzy yarn. I had this, I don't know, this is a Scheepjes soft wool or something. Yeah, no. But he is kind of cute. Finished him last night, just in time for my 5-year-old to have him waiting at the breakfast table this morning, as it is his birthday today. So he had Walt, the green monster, and a piece of chocolate cake for breakfast. Very healthy, yeah. But it's once a year, come on. Yeah, it's very cute. It's from the book. Oh, jeeps. I can't even remember this now. I'm pretty sure it's just grooming monsters or something. Oh, it will be in the notes below, which I forgot to say in the introduction. Everything I mention in this podcast will be in the notes in the description below. Everything I say, everything I mention in this podcast will be in the description box below and on my blog, buyethreadblog.com. That's how you're supposed to do it in the introduction, not like at the very end of the podcast. No. But anyways, it's there. The information is out there. Do with it what you may. Yeah, I feel about as clever as Walt right now. So, as you can see, he might not be the brightest monster, but he's very snuggly. And he has the right amount of squish. It is not a hard... I did not overstuff him, which was my problem with the Theo the T-Rex, which was the first one I ever did. But yeah, no, this one is done in Scheepjes Catona. I think it's lime green, black, white, obviously. And don't remember the blue, but it's a pretty dark navy blue thing going on. And yeah, I think the only part I managed to overstuff this time was that eye. I don't know if you can see that eye is the eyes, they're so pokey. And yeah, turned out nice. Amigurumi number 3. So let's see what I managed to cast on for next time. I think it will be something much cuter. I think it will be one of the From the Cute Crochet Friends book. So that's that. This will go back into Emil's room after I record this. I also have something that was gifted to me I thought I could show. My mother is a avid crocheter, and she's like, oh, you start crochet now as well. It's just, I've got like doilies and things around the house, little tablecloths and runners, and she has done like, I think it's about 7 full-size double bed bedspreads now in crochet, and she started with like I think she works with a 1.5 millimeter hook, fingering weight yarn. She does these amazing big crochet blankets. Yeah, and I have one. I think I think I may have ordered the second one, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it. It's more like that one's pretty. I would love to get that one. I would do it in this color. So she had done one recently in this lovely green, and some yarn left over, I guess, and she made me these little coaster things. These are pretty cute. I hope I'm showing you the right side. Yeah, I think this is the right side. So these lovely coasters. Zoom in on the product. Here we go. Should we put that behind it? Yeah. So I think it's, well, there's 3 different designs. That one. And this is the front. These are very cute. I think these are done in like Solberg yarn. But it's cotton, and they're all stiff like this because she soaked them in a solution of potato flour and pressed them with the iron, so essentially starching them. So I'm having these on my coffee table as coasters, which I needed. They're very cute. So thank you, Mom, for that. I have no idea if you're watching, but your stuff is gonna get prime time on this podcast if you give me some more, maybe a bedspread. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, I did not forget. I think we need to shoot in another segment here, which is knitting fails. Yeah. Last time I mentioned the bolero that never got worn, that has one arm much longer than the other one. And I finally pulled it out of the box of shame. And it is so nice. I want to wear it. But seriously, this is not a matter of like, oh, it's this much difference on the sleeves, so put it on and you won't know the difference. No. It's this much different. I think it's... So hopefully the camera can do. So it's this super nice cabled thing, and see here, how am I gonna unravel this? I think I fasten the threads really well. And I mean, this pattern was quite clever. It's, you start on one end. Well, I think that's where I got thrown off. So you start knitting on one end of the sleeve, and then you knit your way across and you bind off at the other sleeve. And you get the change in size here by changing your needle size. So in the middle, I think I was using a size 15 needle, but I cast on with a size 7, I think. So the braids here, the cables here are a lot tighter than in the middle. So here I think it would be fine to unravel, but that's not where the problem is. Let's see if I can show you the problem. The reason why I never use this. Okay, so if I match up where the armholes are, and we go to the arms, that is the amount of difference on the length of the sleeves. Like seriously, Sølje, what happened there? Like, I bound off. I tried it on. I washed it. I blocked it. Tried it on again. And then I thought, this is a bit off. So I really like this. I love this color, this fluffy. Look at this hairiness and that gorgeous color. What should I do? What should I do about this? Please comment below if you have any suggestions. It is untreated wool, so it's and mohair plasticky something. Like seriously, woman, what did you do? I think I was just like high on hormones or something. But so if I can't unravel it, can it become something else? Can I like, what do you think? If anybody can help me figure out what to do with this mass of knitting in this gorgeous color, please let me know. And maybe by next time I'll have some idea what to do with this. Yeah, this if anybody likes the I don't think there was anything wrong with the pattern, by the way, but I was so disheartened by the whole thing. I didn't want to knit again the same thing. You know what I think I did? I think I should have kept this length, and I either knitted another repeat too much of the cable pattern, or one too little. Which would be easier, unravel or... I have no idea. I have no idea. Help, please. But yeah, the pattern is by Pickles. I think it's just called Flettebolero Pickles, and the yarns are the Pickles Tweedy, which is actually this one here, held together with I'm guessing a mustard color of their Big Fuzz yarn. So it was Pickles Tweedy plus Big Fuzz, which is like a super bulky weight. And yeah, that's that. I recommend the design is gorgeous. Just, you know, yeah, didn't work out the way I wanted. I think that was it for today. Yeah. We've done the what I'm wearing. We've done the works in progress. We've done the swatches. We've done the fail. We've done the finished object. I think that's it. Whew. Yeah. Well, we'll see in editing, won't we? Thank you anyways, if you managed to watch this far. I feel like it was complete frazzle and all over the place. But I'm trying to make this a weekly thing. It's not gonna be easy every time. And yep. Thank you for watching. I hope you'll tune in again next time. And if you liked it, click like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time as well. Bye. Thank you for watching.